What's up, guys? This is Andrew Kraft with Elevate Finance Group, and we have Sy Salari, the owner and creator of Creative Bespoke. And we're going to go into his origin story and how he was able to start this massive company and scale it and basically build out the luxury auto market on another level. So wanted to come by his garage and see, what he's got going and see how he was able to build such a big empire. So, Sy, it's great to have you. Thank you for having me.
Sorry about that. Yeah, hey, it's so great to finally do this.
Yeah.
I know we've been talking about it.
Yeah.
We see each other at the gym.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about maybe doing the podcast together. So I'm glad we finally get a chance to sit down and kind of, as they say, shoot the shit and exchange some ideas. And hopefully if it's going to help some people to kind of get them motivated to get going, that would be great.
Yeah. So tell us about the origin story and how you got into flipping cars.
I mean, we're talking ages ago. I'm older, pushing 54 now. 54. So yeah, 54, pushing it. Not yet.
You're
not yet.
Like
not yet.
54 though.
Thanks, man. Eating healthy, clean lifestyle, being at the gym every day. That's all helps. I don't drink. I don't party anymore.
That's a big thing. Is not partying and not drinking.
Not drinking.
How do you think, like in the business world, how do you feel like your performance every day after you stop drinking? How?
Listen, this is my core belief. You prioritize what's important to you in life. And once you figure that out, then you can start chipping away from the things that are important. So you take a pick, 5 things, 10 things, 20 things, doesn't really matter. So to me, my health is the most important thing to me, because with me not being healthy, I won't be able to take care of my business. I won't be able to take care of my family. I won't be able to do anything. So as much as it sounds a little bit of, selfish, I put myself first before anybody else. Yeah. I get up at 4:30 in the morning. I pray, you see me at the gym every.
Yeah, it's like when you get on an airplane. Yeah. They always say, hey, if you're going to get into an airplane crash, the first thing you do is you grab your oxygen mask, you put it on yourself.
That's a perfect...
And then you help the person.
Metaphor for it is definitely correct. So, the 4 hours I have in the morning...
Walk us through that.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I wake up around 4:30 in the morning. I pray. It takes me about 30 minutes of prayer time and just... meditation. I make all my stuff for the day, my food for breakfast, my shake for after, because I do fasted cardio. So I make my smoothie that I bring to the gym that you see me walk around with. As soon as I do all my cardio, I'll drink that. So I make all of that. That takes about 15, 20, 30 minutes to make my breakfast, make my lunch, my smoothie, get all my stuff together. And then I head to the gym.
Do you cook all your food?
My wife does. Yeah.
Okay.
My wife does. I make my own breakfast. I eat a lot of eggs and egg whites in the morning. So I just make all of that.
Right.
So, I like to have a lot of food in the morning. Right. I think it's great because we train in the morning. So you get to feed if you want to build muscles that, you gotta feed the muscles. So, I do that. I come to the gym. I do my cold plunge and my steam before I work out, because, as study shows that if you do your cold plunge after training, it kind of goes down. Yeah. Your
restricts the
blood and stuff like that. So I do that in the morning, shower. I go and do about 20 minutes of cardio, fasted, then drink my protein.
How important do you think this, your morning routine is to your success?
Absolutely crucial, man. I mean, honestly, I don't think I could perform without it.
It sets you up.
It sets you up. Yeah. It mentally gets you, it's everything you do in life. If you want to succeed at it, doesn't matter if it's your relationship, it's your friendship, if it's your business, if it's your kid, the first thing is commitment. Right. If you're the type of person that you're not going to be able to commit to what you're planning to do, it's going to fall apart. 90% of the businesses, they fall apart because people have an idea, they get into a business and they don't commit. They go all in.
Yeah.
You gotta be all in
Yeah.
whatever you do. If
I agree.
if your family is most important to you, you gotta be all in. If your wife or you know your friends or whatever it is, you gotta be all in order to see it succeed. You know, you can be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You know, that's the problem with a lot of folks. They don't go all in with what they're planning to do with their life. So
it's not about the motivation. It's about
it's about discipline. It's about a commitment, man. You gotta commit yourself. Commit.
Yeah.
Make that commitment. Stick with it. And once you stick with it, it's a funny story talking about, you know, working out. I've been working out pretty much my whole adult life. And I used to read the magazines, you know, something fitness, whatever it used to be.
Fitness.
So I used to see a guy that I thought he was in amazing shape, you know, and you know, so I always used to follow his routine. Long story short, I was in Vegas for one of the, you know, bodybuilding competition just to go watch. And afterwards, I was invited by a buddy of mine who was into bodybuilding. And the day after, the party was at one of the pools. So he's like, hey, you want to come? I said, sure. So I go there and I see the guy that I used to see in a magazine. So I'm like, shit. I ran up to him and I'm like, hey, you know, my name is Sy. And, you know, he's one of my really good friend now, Omar. Ventura, you know, you guys can look him up. He's a coach. I went up to him and we just hang out the whole day. Now, he's pretty much my height. I'm about 5'7". And at that time, I weighed about probably 165, 168.
But you're lean.
Yeah. I mean, I was heavy. I was lean. But in my mind, you know, with working out is you always want to gain weight, right? But you're heavier, the better. So I see him and I'm going to talk to him. And I'm like, so we talking. I'm like, man, what do you weigh? He looked like he weighed 200 pounds, honestly, because he was just jacked.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm 150 pounds. I'm like, there's no freaking way you're 150
No
pounds.
way.
There's no way. It's like, I said, I'll put $1,000 right now on the table. If you, he said, man, I'm not going to take your money. I said, well, I don't believe you. So it was at the, MGM Grand. So we walked. I'm like, we walked from store to store until we found the guy who had the scale. He got on it and it was 151.5 pounds. I'm like, bro, you need to hook me up. And this was when he was training and doing shows himself. He doesn't do that anymore. And he's like, Sy, you know, like we hit it off. So he's like, I'm going to give you my routine, but you do not share this with anybody.
Really?
Because their secret is their secret, right?
Yeah, that's how he makes money.
He said, I'm going to give you, first of all, first thing he asked me, are you the type of person that can commit? I said, you have no idea. I can commit. It's okay. Tuesday, it was Sunday. So Tuesday, tomorrow I am busy. Tuesday, you're going to get an email from me. I got an email from him. He had meal prep. He had the workout routine. He had the type of protein I had to take. He had all supplements, everything detailed out. He said, do not miss. Do not miss. Do not take a shortcut. Do not say, well, tonight I'm going out. I'm going to have a piece of steak. You do not miss. It's a 10-week program. And then send me pictures when you're done. And comes Tuesday, good enough. I open my email. It was there. And this is 2012.
Yeah.
And man, I went down to 150, exactly the way he said I was going to do. And I was shredded. And then from then on, I just figured out that it's not always how heavy you lift and how much you gain. It's the quality of the weight you want to gain. So going back to the commitment, it's all commitment, you know, that you do for whatever.
Did you feel like that was kind of like a life-changing experience going through that?
For that part of my life, yes.
Yeah.
For working out and figuring out how to work out and how to eat and how your body responds, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I did a show. First of all, I hate being on camera. I hate being on stage. It's not my thing.
Yeah.
You know,
you're a humble guy.
Yeah, I just don't like it. It's, you know, everybody's good at something. That's not my strong suit.
The thing is like growing up, I was the same way. Like I couldn't do it. And for me, it was like, my dad was the one who always pushed me. He's like, take more photos, take more photos, take more videos. Cause he's like, cause when you get to the end of your life, you get to look back at all those moments. And he's like, you get to look back at all the moments, even if they were good, they were bad. He's like, it was all like, it was all good in the end. And so like he always talked about life, like he's like there's always ups and downs, right? He's like life can't always be like this, right? It goes up, it goes down, it's like a heartbeat. And he's like, if you wanted life to be like this, right, this consistent, you'd be flatlined, you'd be dead.
No, I was listening to a podcast this morning at the gym, actually was talking about just that God made us to the point that no human being on the planet, including all the prophets, Jesus, and everybody had a rough time. If everything was always good, that's not life. God put you through rough time, put you up and down to see how you react. What is your reaction? Are you the type of person that gets close to him, or you're the type of person that goes far away from him? And also gives you goodness to see how you react. You know, if in a good time, you're grateful, you're, content, you thank God, and then those are the things, that's challenges that life got.
What do you think? What do you think? Something like you might have gone through your business, through your family, through your life, whatever, that was really hard, and what kind of pulled you out and helped you?
Well, in 2004, me and my brother have been doing cars, for forever. Like literally, that's all I've done since I graduated high school. I worked briefly, delivering Chinese food, and I worked briefly at KFC.
Where was that at? In
Scottsdale? In Mesa. Yeah, I went to Mesa High, and I graduated in 1990. So I did some food delivery, some dishwashing at Luby's restaurant, which was a big like a buffet. And man, it was tough. I'll never forget that job. I think I lasted 24 hours. I ended up in a hospital.
Really?
Yeah. Stuck me. I was 117 pounds, same height. I haven't changed since I've been in high school. I've been 5'7" since the day I remember, and 117. But I'm 170 now. So I was 117, and in this little tiny room, and these dishes keep coming, and the steam, and I was not about to give up. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking excuse my language, wash every single dish. Doesn't matter. And I worked so hard that day that I end up in hospital. I get dehydrated. I didn't have time to drink or eat or anything. And I end up in a hospital. They had to give me IV, and that was probably the toughest job I ever had. But I sold ice cream with my brother out of a van. So we kind of we tried working for people, but it just never worked. So I literally me and my brother been working for ourselves since day one.
And what was this like? Did you guys just interested in cars at first?
No, not at all, man. Not at all. So, it's funny story. So, going back to right around the 1990s, and we were very poor. I was, delivering food or something, and my brother was a waiting table. And one day he had a car that didn't have registration, didn't have insurance, nothing. Nobody was driving it. So he's at work waiting table, and I took the car and I wrecked, and I had this lady that was making a left turn on a green light, like an arrow, and I just ran the red light. I hit him, and this big Suburban in Mesa just flipped. This poor old lady just was hanging upside down with the wheels of the car up. And I thought I told her, they came and they cut the car and they took it out, and thank God she wasn't hurt at all because she had her seatbelt on. And long story short, I was so scared. I just had been in the country maybe a year, 2 years. No, 2-3 years. I just I was just graduated high school. So I'm like, oh my God, my life is over. So the insurance company, they didn't have any witness. So they didn't know that if she ran the red light, they had no clue. And so they trying to get a hold of me and to kind of settle, to like make sure I'm not suing her, the insurance company. And I keep acting like I don't exist. Oh, no habla inglés, I keep hanging up. Long story short, one day, and this was when I would eat what do you call it? Taco Bell was just brand new in town. And I was eating at Taco Bell. That's all I could afford. And I go to the mailbox and there's a $18,000 check from her insurance company.
Oh, wow.
Like the most amount of money I probably ever seen at that point was maybe $200, $300, under $500. Like,
wow, you hit the
so
lotto.
$18,000.
Yeah.
So what do? I run in and I try to buy a Taco Bell. So I go to the manager. They knew me by then because I was there every day. So I'm like, hey, I want to buy a Taco Bell. How does it work? They're like, you have the money? I said, yeah, I have a check right here. So long story short, I took all the paperwork. My brother came home from the restaurant and he just went and bought a car at auction for $500. It was an RX-7 and there was just fuel pump wasn't working. So it wasn't running. So it was really inexpensive to fix it and he sold it like right away for like $1,200. So we made like $600-700 on a car.
Oh, no.
So he comes home.
How old
and
were you at that point?
I was 18, you know,
okay,
yeah.
cool.
So I'm sitting with a bunch of paperwork. He comes, he said, what is all this? Is it, oh, I'm buying a Taco Bell. He said, what are you talking about? So I told him the whole story. So, you know, the insurance guy kept calling me. They sent me a check.
Yeah.
So he's like, no, we're not doing that. You know, look, we made $700 on one car. How many tacos at 30 cents you're going to sell to make $700? So that's how we get in the car business, to be honest with you.
That's
so
awesome.
So, you know, he was flipping cars.
Them Taco Bell flipping
to
cars.
Yeah.
That's
I was
good.
washing them because I learned how to detail. So he would buy them. I would clean them up and we would put them on the corner and sell them. And then we get our own dealer license in 1992. It was a tiny lot on Scottsdale Road. And that's how it really all started. My brother was never into cars. You know, car thing was more my thing.
But he's into money.
Yeah, you know, I like the cars, and to be very, very frank with you, I originally wanted the cars because I wanted to find a girlfriend. You know, I'm always mentally was like, if you have a nice car, you're gonna find a nice girl, right? So that was one of my main thing to get into a car business was to find a girl.
Yeah.
And you know, we became really good at it, and we had a couple of really large dealerships in town, and then we lost everything in 2014, like everything. After 21 years of business, something like 22 years of business, we lost everything 2014, completely gone.
Do you guys have to file bankruptcy?
I did, yeah. I mean, we lost everything. I mean, I lost my house. He lost his house. I mean, I was sleeping on my sister's couch, you know, and it was tough times, man. That's when, you know, you asked about, was there a time in your life that really, you know, brought me back to my faith, you know, and really changing my life. I stopped drinking. I'm like, okay, because I was a big party guy, you know, I always had nice cars, always at the club, the best tables was, everybody in town knew me. Anywhere I went, the doors open, the tables was ready. This was like my life. You know, I was out 3, 4, 5 nights a week, spending thousands of dollars. So I'm like, you know, I need the change. You know, so I completely did a 180 and stopped drinking, start praying and be a lot more, get close to God, you know, and that really was a turning point in my life. You know, I met my wife. I have 2 beautiful children that I'm blessed with. So, and you know, slowly started building Creative Bespoke. I started Creative Bespoke in 2017. I didn't really have any money. A very good friend of mine, one of my best friends now, he's a doctor, and he's like, hey, I didn't know him. He just called me. He says, hey, can you customize a G-Wagon for me? I want a G-Wagon. So I did. And then he wanted another car. And so I did. And then I'm telling him, hey, listen, like if
you were making good money on that?
Well, yeah, I was making decent money. We became friends, you know, so I wasn't like, so I told him, I said, listen, if you want, instead of keep buying all these cars, because every time you buy a car and you sell it, you lose money, right? So I'm like, instead of doing that, if you have some money, if you want to lend it to me, like you can pay for the cars, you know, you have the titles to the cars and I'll customize them. I sell them. I'll pay you a commission for him.
Right.
And meanwhile, you can drive him. So you're
great.
making money off of your money. You always have different cars to drive, and he helps me build my business. And really, he's the one who helped me build my company. And you know, he lent me the money. Money was always secure, you know, because he had all the titles to the car. So if something would have happened to me, the cars were sitting around.
That's what's crazy is like, I always see you driving the cars, and like in my mind, I'm always like, well, if you're going to go and buy such an expensive car, what's the average car? What's the average car? $400,000. So if you're going to buy that, and then you're going to drive, and then you just drive them to the gym every day, like no problem.
No, I don't drive into the gym. Don't say that. I only drive nice cars to the gym. I have a minivan, just so everybody knows. It's sitting outside. It's a Toyota Sienna. You guys can see it on the way out. That's my daily. I'm overall that, man. You know,
but
like,
it's fun. It's fun.
It's fun. Listen, I love cars. Don't get me wrong. I love cars, but I don't see a point of me driving a McLaren when it's ready for sale to go home and then go to the gym and come back to work. I don't see a point of that. You do see me drive them because when we're completely done with the car, they go through several different steps of QC, quality control, right? Because 90% of our cars get shipped out of state. So unless they're perfect, I just don't want the customer to receive a car and say, oh, well, you know, this thing doesn't work. And then I have to find the shop or send it to a dealer, and then it just becomes so.
You have to test drive.
It goes, so I'll do the final test drive. It goes through goes through the technician. Every department does their own QC. Then it goes to my shop foreman, Ryan, and then final is with me. I'll drive it, and then I'll give him a note if I see something, and then they attend to it. So those are the only time. Like today, I was driving the minivan to the gym, you know. So either it's minivan or it's a Lamborghini. So it's one of those two. So
we got to test. We got to.
So it's fun one. So if I'm going out to dinner with a wife or something, I take something nice.
You have a Lamborghini or a McLaren of your own?
No, I don't. I don't see a point of
because it's not.
If I need one, I'll just take one of these. There's no point of tying up $400,000 for what? For what reason?
And you have kids.
I have to sell it for sale. I have put up for sale, but you know, if I like tonight, we have an event to go to, so I'll just take a car. There's a car we just finished, a Ferrari. I'll just take that. So I'll test drive it, make sure it's good, because they're completely done with it, and then I'll bring it back. So
when you buy, first, do you buy these brand new?
Some of them are, like that Persangwe, that's a Ferrari truck, that's brand new. That Rivolto that we're working on, that's brand new. This other Rivolto is brand new. These are all used. This one is. You get a couple of thousand miles on it, but what's
the process? And do you decide on the colors and all that?
That's my job.
That's your job.
That's what I do.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So they're absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. So thanks, man. Yeah. So I thanks to my parents. When I was very young, they put me in art school. So I was artistic to start with. I liked to, to have. Always drawing and stuff like that. So it's in my blood.
Because these are I mean, you can't get more eye-catching.
Yeah.
Like I was seeing this around, and it was great because you put the label up top, so you'd always see it. And then I think, do you have a symbol you sometimes put on the cars?
Sometimes the circle one. There's
and sometimes I'll see them on some other vehicles.
Funny thing is, a friend of mine owns a Gold Rush Rally, Ramin, and we do a Gold Rush Rally once a year with them. And he was telling me, Sy, like your cars, you have your own taste, even if it doesn't have any symbols on it.
Right.
People kind of know because they kind of know your style, of what you do. So it's great. Going back to, I know a lot of your, audience maybe are starting a business or want to get into a business. That doesn't really matter if it's building cars or building homes or starting a, online business, whatever the case might be.
Right.
If you're planning to get into your own business and want to start a business, first thing is, obviously have an idea that you think is going to work.
Right.
And second thing is you do have to make a commitment to this business. You know, you got to go all in. You cannot be 50-50. You cannot be 70-30. You got to be 100 in.
And you gotta work 24/7.
You gotta work 24/7, man. It is the building time that you have to work and you have to reinvest and and you gotta crawl and you gotta sleep on the couch or whatever it takes might be. But the most important thing in a business, if you're planning to build a brand, okay, because to me, it's all about the brand.
It's all about the brand.
It's all about the brand.
It's all about
you have a brand that people trust, then you have done something right. And how do people trust a brand? Is by you standing behind your product. Okay, your word and your product has to mirror each other. If you giving I've done things for my clients that I don't think anybody else would do. It has cost me tens of, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars on certain deals. But
you wanted to make it right.
But that's the only way.
Yeah.
That's the only way. That's why when you end up with one of our cars, my job starts after the car gets delivered to you. It's not, my job doesn't start when I buy the car to get it, to design it, to fix it, to build it, to sell it. Yeah, that's all part of what you do to earn money. Your job as a business owner should start when the product is to your customer's hand. That's when a difference between somebody who's really serious about building his brand or somebody who's just winging it. Because things going to go wrong. Things definitely going to go wrong in any business. You know, let's say you're in a clothing business. You're going to send somebody a pants that is the wrong size, is ripped or something. How you handle that, especially when you're small, that one return and replacement and the shipping is hurts. When you're only selling 5 shirts, if one comes back at the beginning, it's going to hurt, man, but you're going to have to bite the bullet. You're going to maybe skip dinner that night. You know what I mean?
That's absolutely.
Yeah. So you got to stand behind your product. You have to be man of your word and understand that you're not going to be able to make every customer happy. There are customers that you're going to do without, but as long as you handle your business the proper way, you will have enough business that you can do without.
I agree.
Those customers are unrealistic.
And I have like a perfect example. I know you're talking about bankruptcy earlier, and we just had a client. So we do credit repair, and then we also do funding. So we do all types of funding as far as business funding, and then we also do real estate funding, right? So we do hard money loans,
I know that,
all that good stuff. So we had a client who just recently came into our program, had a 370 credit score, and literally within 30 days got 65 items removed off his credit report, got a bankruptcy off. And then his profile, I think, went up like 165 points.
Oh, wow.
And he comes back and obviously he's stoked, but he's like, man, I'm still not at a 700. And I'm like, well, you got tons of debt, you got this, you got that. But
plus,
the thing
it takes
is,
time, man. I mean, 30 days is unheard of.
Right. And that's exactly like the whole thing is like, at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do, right? And so like I've been sitting here, he was asking me about loans. So now I'm trying to go find a personal loan that I can get him for around 500 at a 500 credit score. Most people don't want to do that, right? And if you do hard money
for a real estate deal?
Yeah, well, no, he just wants cash out of, like, originally he was trying to pull a HELOC on his home.
Okay.
And then he couldn't because you have to have a 640 and he has a 500. We got him up a little over a 500 from a 370. And he's like, hey man, I really need the money. Really need the money. I'm like, we have to get you to a 640, right? So that was his thing. He's like, he wasn't, super stoked about that. He wasn't at 640 yet. And I'm like, hey, we need another 30 days to finish everything up, and we got to improve the utilization. But the thing is you can't always make people happy right out the gate. But like you were saying, you have to deliver and stand behind your product. So now what I'm doing is I went and found him a loan, someone who would give him a little bit of cash. It's a small company they call bridge loans.
Okay.
And so essentially you can get people who have over 500 credit scores a loan based off of,
equity and the collateral, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's like, right out the gate, I'm thinking, hey, I don't really have anyone, and I have 850 lenders in my database, and most people don't want to lend to people who have 500 credrit scores.
And sometimes is the lack of education on clients' part of knowing how everything works, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be patient. You have to be able to break it down, dissect it for them step by step, and almost teaching them how things are done.
Right.
And then obviously, hopefully they get it and they'll be able to. But in your business, I'm pretty sure is when people's back is against the wall at this point that I think this gentleman was, they need the money right now. They just not listening to any reason, right? They need So, commitment to your business, commitment to your clients is crucial to build a brand. And it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. Exactly. And even if you improve, everybody I think knows what their weaknesses are. Everybody, we all have our weaknesses. One person is sleeping in late. One person is getting angry quick. One person is, being lazy at work. And one person is being on their phone too much. Whatever your weaknesses are, as long as you leave the house and say, today I'm going to improve on that weakness, even if it's 3%, 2%. If it's an improvement, that's all you can do, right? Because nothing's going to fix itself on its own overnight.
And I think the thing you said earlier, it's like you have this whole routine and you're focused on yourself as far as like making sure you have your nutrition and you meditate and do all these things. The thing is like, to me, like some people say, oh, you're selfish. And it's like, the thing is like, you need to work on yourself so that you can be the best dad, the best businessman, the best man every single day. And I think it's so important. And people always want to procrastinate and say, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll start working out tomorrow. And it's like, those
lack
people,
of commitment, my friend. It starts.
You never go anywhere. And then it's like, you look at you, it's like you have this beautiful shop, you got a beautiful family, you have daughters and, a wife and it all started with the commitment to
do something. Absolutely. Like I said, the number one most important thing is your commitment. Anything that is important to you. Like I said, if your children are important to you, then you commit to yourself. Thank God my wife, she doesn't work, and so she handles a lot of the way at home with the kids. I'm involved on the weekends. My guys know that we're shut down. I'm with my family because that's really the only time I have time with them. But so you start with that commitment, and once you see the result, why people go to the gym and after 2-3 months they stop going is because they don't see the result. They think that, in 2 months they're going to put on or lose weight or whatever the case might be. So they end up quitting, right? Because they don't commit themselves for whatever time it takes to do that.
So what do you think is next for your company?
So the end result, God willing, and that's really all depends on how things work out, is for me to have our own car. We want to I want to design and build a car on somebody else's platform. Obviously, to build your own car and engineer the engine and transmission and all electronics is tens of millions of dollars, if not more. But what you can do is take a platform, for instance, a Huracan. Huracan, everybody likes that V10 platform. It's reliable. It sounds amazing. You can push those horsepowers north of 2,000 horsepower if you decided. So is a well-built engine. So take a platform like that, strip it completely, and build a brand new car over it. So all you use on it is your frame, your engine and transmission. Everything else we're gonna strip is gonna be a completely redesigned body.
Because you can tell, like these are the same cars, correct?
Right, these are the same cars.
But like they look so different.
Yeah, they look different. But this is all still a McLaren, so it's a body kit, right?
Right.
So what we want to do, we want to completely change the roof line, change the way the doors open, change the glass, change complete the interior, all the electronic on the interior. It would look nothing like a Lamborghini. It would be completely something different, and is a car that you can order, you can upgrade, up to 300 cars a year, 299 cars. You don't need to put it into any safety. It becomes a custom build. So you can get away. You can literally rip all the all the airbags, everything out of it. You can't have no seat belts, whatever you want to do. At this point is not a problem. We're going to do that, but what I'm saying is take that almost like what Pagani's done. Pagani's chassis and powertrain is out of a Mercedes AMG, right? Is just, he has redesigned and built something that is completely one-off and piece of art. So that's the end result. I can get there.
What do you think the timeline on that is?
If I start today, it's 3 years before I have a prototype,
right?
You know, and is about $3 million for the first car. To get if you want to have all new glass, all new roof, like in order to do what I want to do is a $3 million and a 3-year project. Obviously, it's not the time for me to do that. Our next move is, you know, I use a lot of different brands. So what we do here is we take a normal car, we take the exterior body kit, carbon fiber body kits from, you know, either, you know, Zakoi, Duke Dynamics, you know, Venom Black, or whatever the brand is, and we install it. We redo the interior. We take the suspension, we take the wheels and tires, we change the exhaust and with performance, and we completely redesign it to be something very unique and one-off. Yeah. So my next move, immediate next move that I'm working on right now, that's what we bought all the equipment and invest in it. I'm designing my own kit. Instead of me spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on kits.
So Venom.
Yeah, Venom.
Yeah. His cars are beautiful.
We're doing 2 for SEMA. The for Songway is right there, and the Dawn. They're going to be done for SEMA. By the way, our SEMA event is November 1st, 5 to 8 p.m. If any of you guys want to come by, it's right here. It's right here. Yeah, we're revealing all the cars. We do it once a year.
That'll be great.
Yeah, 5 cars that we're building. They're all going to be revealed.
Awesome.
That's going to be amazing. So going to be food and entertainment and all of that.
Nice.
But long story short, I'm designing my own kit right now. We started with the Cullinan. The Rolls-Royce truck, the Series 2, the new body sub, which is a 2025 and newer. So we're in production right now as we speak on that kit.
Wow.
Awesome. And that'll be our first one. The second one that I'm working on right now is the Revolto wide body.
You think that's pink or purple?
I think that's pink.
You think
what do you think?
I don't know. It was hard to tell because is it a violet?
It's violet.
It's like a pink purple.
Yeah, it's like a pink. If certain times it looks purple, but it's right now it's kind of pink. Yeah, I want to be pink. Yeah. This year we're building a bunch of pink cars.
Are you?
I'm into pink now. So.
Yeah. So is that because the G-Wagon? Yeah, that's kind of like a.
So this company out of Poland. Cool. So I find really unique brands, and we collab with them and we become partners with them. That's Carlex out of Poland is unreal. Their craftsmanship, it's next level, man. I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah, I really like that.
Unbelievable. So we're building that car. They take it new G-Wagon and make it into a vintage. So with the hubcaps and it looks so dope. So very excited about that.
Awesome.
For that car. So we're doing that, and we're doing 2.
And that one's brand new.
That's a 2025 per Songway, 2025 Revolto. The latest model I could get for the Dawn was a 2020 because they stopped making them in 2021. So that's the latest model with the lowest mile I could find with 4,000 miles on the market. So, you know, we try to buy, when you spend $150,000 on the customization of a car, you don't want to do it on a old, low, high mile car. It makes no sense because nobody wants to spend that kind of money if the car has
How much are you putting into each car, like roughly?
It really depends. Yeah, I mean,
like what about
this thing? I get $250,000 money into it on top of the cost of the car.
Wow,
this car was very expensive.
You said it spit flames.
Yeah, very expensive. Very time consuming. Every panel is being changed to carbon. It's a wide body, full interior, performance, exhaust, mirrors are one-off mirrors. So this was
how much time do you spend on each car?
It really depends. Some Revoltos we got it down to about 10 days.
Really?
Yeah. And some cars like this one took us 5 months to build. It really depends.
Right.
The goal is to eventually get to building our own cars. So it's repeat.
Right.
So if we're going to be building Cullinans, we just,
and obviously you sell them all over the country, right?
Like all over the world, actually. Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask you. So it's international.
Yeah. I've shipped cars to Africa. I've shipped cars to the Middle East. I've shipped cars to Europe. Ship cars to Australia. Yeah, we ship cars all over the world. Canada, obviously. Mexico.
So how do you market your brand? How do people find you?
Social media mainly. We have a good following in social media, word of mouth. We are on eBay. We're on cars.com, autotrade.com, Car Gurus, DuPont Registry. So we do quite a bit of marketing. Yeah. But social media, that's where is it at. So
how important do you think, because obviously you have to have insane connections to get to this level, right? How important do you think connections and knowing the right people in this business is to you?
I mean, what's the famous say? It's not what you know, is who you know, right? So, again, go back to when you build a brand, if people trust you, if they trust your word, if you do clean business, and that's another thing, you get to do clean business. Right. Look at it the long term. Right. It's not a sprint. If you build in a brand and you plan to build it, it's got to be a long lifetime plan for you and your family. So, and the only way you get there is to have people trust your word. Right. If you say you're going to do something, you have to do it. You have to stand behind your product. So, I like to play the long game. I could have had so many opportunities to do other businesses while I was doing this, but I decided I want to be the best I can be in this space. I want Bespoke to be the best shop in the country when it comes to product design, customer service, quality, value, whatever it takes to build a brand.
And you've absolutely done that.
I mean, I spent my whole life saving, buying this building, and then spend the rest of it remodeling it. Right. It was a very old building, but we pretty much redid everything from ground all the way up. Right. Has all different departments. We have a upholstery department. We have a custom performance department. We have a dyno room. We have alignment room. We have all the wheels and tire machines. We have CNC machine for upholstery. We have a scanner now that we can scan cars, so we can develop our own kits. Like every tool that goes into this business, we bought and invested in. So
who taught you how to do this, or did you teach
self-taught? Yeah. So I mean, like I said, I started with washing cars after high school when the delivery thing and dishwashing thing didn't work. And my brother crushed my my dream of owning a bunch of Taco Bells. I would have probably would have 10, 50, because the guy told me, he says, hey, if you're a hard worker, if you do good, we will sell you more, because we try to keep the owners very selective. We don't want to have 50 owners. We'd rather have
one owner,
5 owners that own 10 each. So I could have had 10, 15 Taco Bell, but knowing myself now with being healthy, I would have not felt comfortable poisoning people for money. So God has plans for you. So I end up here. I absolutely love what I do. Like it's my passion. I love cars.
Well, so
I love the whole industry.
How did you make the transfer? So, because obviously you're doing cheaper cars, right? How do you go from cheaper cars, everyday cars, to the luxury?
So, I mean, when we had our dealerships back in the day, we started with obviously very, very normal car. Like the first dealership we had one car on it, and it was a orange VW bus, the old ones, the old ones, the 2-ton VW. It was like $1,500, and so that was the first car. So as you grow, is with anything else, you even normal anybody that gets a job and they
Right.
do well, they improve their life, right? That's the whole goal. You just work harder and you improve your life. You
Right.
get first you rent in a house, and then you rent an apartment. From apartment you go rent a townhouse. From townhouse you go rent a house, and from the house you end up buying a townhouse, and then you buy. So you improve your life. That's the whole game.
What was the first car?
The first car was the VW VW bus,
Yeah.
the 15. Well, the first car ever was that non-running RX-7.
Right.
That my brother.
What was the first luxury one you did?
Oh, probably we started doing a lot of Lexuses, back in the day. I'm talking early 90s, mid 90s. We started buying a lot of Lexuses because my brother loved Lexuses. He thought they're the most, and he was right. The most bulletproof cars are Lexuses.
Really?
Everybody say, "Oh, it's a Toyota." It's not a Toyota. It is a Toyota, but they spend so much more quality product building it, from the leather to the body to the insulation to the paint they use is all completely different.
Right.
So we started selling a lot of Lexuses and then get into BMWs and Mercedes.
Right.
So that we gradually started doing that, and then we lost everything. And then when I started Bespoke, we were doing really inexpensive. I was lifting Jeeps and stuff like that until my friend came about, and then he helped me be able to buy more. And it's nerve-wracking. Go buy a $600,000, $700,000 car, and completely like that pink Revolto. There's no interior to it. There's no exterior to it. Is like to change everything is nerve-wracking. But you gotta play hard to get to get recognized. So now we're getting more comfortable. My guys I've been blessed to find some of the best in the industry that work on these cars. They're very meticulous of how they do that. And that's because we set a standard with our shop. I mean, this is probably one of the cleanest shop when it comes to a body shop, a performance shop, my in-laws. It's my in-laws. It's my wife's mom and dad. They come here, they help keep the shop clean. They're bored at home. So they, I'm like, hey, you can come, and they love it. So she keeps the place very tidy, and it reflects to how you handle it. When my customers come in, they don't see their car tore apart, parts everywhere. They come to a very organized, very professional environment. So it allows them to feel comfortable leaving their brand new. I don't know if you saw the Revolto that we have in our PPF room. The guy bought the car in California with 35 miles on it, shipped it directly to me. He hasn't even driven it yet.
Really?
So he's like, literally, he hasn't even driven that car. So people trust us with that. And actually, his car is done. So he's taking me to dinner tomorrow night at the Nobu. So he's excited to get his car finally. Yeah. So, it's nice. I've met some of my dearest friends through this business. My whole thing is, if you, this niche that we have of taking an exotic car and redoing it, the customers for these type of cars are already, the market is very small, right? There's only certain clientele that can afford a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or thing, right? So you have a very small market. So let's say 10% of your population, 5% can want to spend a few $100,000 on a car that they're going to drive once a week or once a month, right? So you take that customer and you squeeze that to maybe 1%.
Right.
Out of that 8%, there's only 1% is because a lot of people, they call them purists, and to their defense, they're not wrong that, hey, Ferrari makes a beautiful car already. Lamborghini makes a beautiful car already. We don't want to touch it.
Right.
Is a perfect car.
Right.
So we take that 10 and we squeeze it to 1%. That's my client, right? That's willing to spend another $200,000 on top of the expensive car, get something that has been already completely taken apart and put back together, and to be different, right? So it's very important for me to retain those clients, right? So I deal with my clients personally. That's why it's so important that once you retain that client, doesn't matter what you do, you take care of them, you know, and you make sure if it's a fast food, if it's In-N-Out Burger, how do they retain their clients?
Right.
They do a good job. The service is great. The people are nice. They give you the best quality you can get for your money for a fast food.
Right.
And people go back. There's lines out the door, right? So it doesn't matter what are you doing. You're selling, flipping burgers, or you're selling private jets, right? It's how you handle that client and the service you give them that differentiates you from a great business to just a normal.
That's what's crazy. It's like you're already buying a $200,000-$300,000 car. Right. So it's like you're getting something absolutely beautiful. But when you're on a certain level, you have so much money. You're like, I want to go one step further, right? And those are obviously your clients because these cars are one of one. Like you can't.
For sure, yeah.
And my question is like, what, like, do you have competition? Like, I know there's a couple guys, but like, are there really that many people doing this?
So, going back to 2010, 11, I had an idea. I wanted to build custom cars and sell them, and everybody laughed at me because I've been in the car business for 35 years. So everybody in the industry knows that, like, the game plan in automotive industry is buy a car and sell it as fast as you can.
Right.
Okay, recon it and sell it as fast as you can. Why? Because every day you're paying interest on your money.
Right.
The cars depreciate, so is like the needles moves this way,
right?
And you're stuck in the middle. So buy it, flip it as fast as
right.
Buy a car that doesn't need a lot of work, and if you need just a little bit of recon, wash it, stick it on the autotrade.com, sell it the next day, and move on to the next one. That's the game.
Yeah.
So when they saw me buy a car, take it apart, take me a month, 2 months, they're like, you're gonna lose your ass. You're gonna do this. I'm like, hey, you know what? Let me worry about that, right?
Yeah.
So I start putting wheels on the cars. Then I start wrapping cars. This is when nobody ever put wheels on the cars. And now looking back, every dealership wants something custom in their car because now you kind of set the market, right? Because if you're buying a Huracan, let's say a two-wheel drive Huracan, and your budget is, $200,000, you can go on AutoTrader, put your budget, and say, hey, I want a Huracan. You'll spits out 40 Huracans for you, right? In your budget, in different colors. You just got to pick.
Yeah.
But when you have something that is one-off, there's only this one on the market. So you kind of set your own market, right? And then once you have that client, they're not going to be able to say, hey, I found one identical to it in Chicago for $30,000 less. If you're not going to sell it to me, I'll go buy that one.
I'll go buy
so it allows you to have a little bit more control on your product, right? And as long as you're fair and you're giving good quality product to the customer, then everybody wins, right? So I just didn't want to be another car dealer. There's thousands of car dealers in this country.
How do you think that you set pricing? How do you value something that's almost invaluable?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Honestly, that's a really tough one. There's some cars that we've sold before they were built. We have deposit, and that blue Revolto, I bought it for SEMA, and I ended up selling it before I'm building it for a client. So I ended up buying the pink one. But you just don't want to. It's so funny you said that. I built the Revolto. I sold it to another dealer. I'm not going to say who. He bought it from me for $750,000. I still made a little bit of money on it, not a lot, because he just kind of worked me. And I hate nickel and diming, and I ended up selling it to him. He has had it now for 7-8 months. He's put 1,000 miles on the car. He's asking $887,000. So he's trying to make $120,000, $30,000. Like, dude, you gotta be. I mean, you gotta be realistic. Like, if I end up selling you a car, I want to have you be able to look in your face and say, you know what? Hey, you get a good car for a good price.
Right.
Whenever you're ready to trade it in, I'll take it back on the train and give you a fair market value. I don't want to like see you one time and just make sure
that you do
that all the time. Yeah. That's why I said, you know, once I retain a customer, I try to keep them. A lot of my customers are repeat customers. If then they're not the type that go through the cars, they refer people to me, you know. So yeah, you don't want to be, again, you can sprint from here to get to the door, or you can walk and get from here to Scottsdale, right? So I want to be able to keep my business a long term. And like I said, the customers that like these kind of cars, they're not dime a dozen. They're one in probably 100,000.
So way more than that.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know the status, but I know for customers, custom exotic cars is not a lot.
So custom.
So when you get them
custom,
then I want to be able to repeat it. Yeah.
So and like with this, it's like how many cars do you guys think you're redoing every single year? And
last year I think we did 53. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's quite a bit. It's hard to build so many. The goal is to, once we have our own product and streamline the process of just redoing same thing over and over, because you know every car and every kid, it has its own challenge. So if I'm doing this brand, we've never done it, we run into so many issues that we have to figure out. If I'm doing that, so if redoing the same thing over, it's gonna speed up the process. So you can pump up that production.
So obviously, is this your only business?
This is my only business. Okay. Yes. Well, yes and no. Me and my brother are actually, my brother has a furniture company that manufactures furniture, and we're planning to get into building in custom homes and stuff like that. You know, we both pretty artistic and very good with design. Yeah. He's gone to engineering school, so he's very
luxury.
Yeah.
You do luxury homes, luxury boats, and then you get
no boats. That's not in the playing cards right now. But luxury homes, we're gonna do one in
same
California.
Brand? Is it Creative?
No, we don't really have a brand yet. We're just at the beginning. So we just purchased 2 properties, one in California, one here in PV. So we're gonna start with those and see how that goes.
Right.
That's been our game plan of getting into a luxury custom building for a long time. So my brother's done a few and done very, very well with as far as the design and quality with it. You know, I design and build this whole place.
Yeah,
like just beautiful. Just from my head, my general contractor shows up and says, "Okay, what are your plans?" I said, "What plans?" It's all in my head. Same thing with the cars. They're like, everyone's like, "Oh, do you have a graphic designer?" That I'm like, "No, man, it's all in the head." You know. So so while the guys were building the cars, I was designing and building the shop. So
So as a successful business owner, obviously you're making good money. What do you think people should do? I mean, what are you doing with your money to invest and hedge inflation with everything that's going on in the market?
You know, I honestly don't have a lot of investment. I mean, I have few properties, like the one I just told you bought to build on in PV, and I have a Old Town property that used to be our home, and property in Mexico. So I don't have a lot of money in stocks. My money goes back into here because I know what I'm doing here, right?
And that's what a lot of people say is put your money back into the business.
And when you have enough of it, then you can venture out. Like put some in stocks. And I'm not telling anybody not to invest in stocks. Like I'm trying to do that myself. One of my best friend and my mentor, he retired, younger than me, retired, and he made all his money in stocks. So he's the one who's pushing me to do that. But for me is this is what I know. This is space that I'm comfortable.
Right.
I know if I have X amount of dollars, how much I can make with it.
Right.
So if you have the money, you want to invest, as long as you know what you're doing, go right ahead, right? But for me right now, this is where I'm putting my money in.
Do you have a coach or a mentor? I know you said you're self-taught, but do you have?
Well, I do have, a couple of friend of mine. They're my best friends, that when it comes to, he doesn't know anything about car business or anything like that, but he is very good at organization and like team building and stuff, because he had a big manufacturing, he sold it. So I pick his brain, but it's all self-taught, man. I mean, honestly, it would have been great if anybody out there that wants to get into a business, it's great to actually have some education. I'm not saying that you need to go to school for 5-6 years and waste all the money and the time. I didn't do any of that. I barely graduated high school, but it would be nice to have some, framework of how the organization, how accounting works, how marketing, because a business is 3 different steps: is your accounting, your marketing, and your product, right? Those are the 3 Ds. You have a product to either sell or build or whatever you're doing, manufacture. You have to market it, because without the marketing, you're not going to get anywhere. You're going to have gold, and if nobody knows about it, it's going to sit there. And then is your accounting. If your books and records are not tidy, you will not survive. So it would be great to take some classes, get some education on how the marketing works, how the accounting works. So you you don't have to be expert at it. At least you know some stuff. So you can, when you first start in and it's just you and maybe a buddy or wife or whoever it might be, at least you can finagle it until you get
What was, I know you said you guys had the bankruptcy. How did that affect you in your life? And then how do you feel like you pulled yourself out of that? Because a lot of people go through these hard times, these dark times, and it's like you feel like your life's over.
Yeah, mine too, man. It was, I had the most perfect credit. We were the largest independent dealer in state of Arizona. I had a $2 million largest penthouse at Optima, the one, and losing everything, going to sleep on my sister's couch for a year. It was very humbling. But, my brother told me that, hey, your people can take your stuff away. They cannot take what's in your brain. We're going to make it back, and it happened exactly as I said. Yeah, it doesn't feel good to have to file bankruptcy, but the bankruptcy was built to protect people like that, like us, that we had a successful business, we had a perfect credit, we had everything, everything was tidy up, and we lost the business, right? And so it's to protect people like that. So losing that, hey, my credit is back perfect. I get approved for, this building, my home, my other home. So people know the banks are not stupid, right? Yeah, they can look at your credit history for 25 years. You were spotless. Then you had a loss of business. Then you had to, and when you file bankruptcy, what you do with the people you owe money to is very important. If you're just careless and you're just racking up your credit card and you buying this and you buying that and you cannot pay for it, I'm sorry, you're a loser at this point, right? Because you don't respect, when you owe somebody money and you're not willing to make it right, that's not the right thing to do. So they look at your credit, they look at your history, and then what happened after, if you made it up to the creditors, and we only had like 1 or 2 credit where it was bigger. That's what it matters, right? So bankruptcy is nothing to be ashamed of. This is to protect.
What did you do? Because obviously you're in a dark place, right? What did you do? What advice would you give to someone in that place?
Listen, don't. If you filing bankruptcy because you're careless, I'm sorry, I don't have any advice for you. You need to soul search and then figure it out. If you had a successful business, if you did right and you lost your business, it's going to come back. You just got to restart, start making money, pay down your debt, and make things right. And your credit come right back up. You know what I mean? Banks are not stupid. Creditors are not stupid. They can see that it was just a loss of business.
Right.
So first thing I can tell you is be careful how you spend your money. Yeah, if you're making money in your business, reinvest it instead of blowing it on not that I don't say you come and buy a car from me. I would love for you to come and buy a car from me. But before you spend $400,000 or $500,000 on a toy, make sure that, your books are straight. You bought the building for your company. You invest, you have money, you're secure. You have a year of all your overhead covered in the bank, whatever the case might be. And then if you want to go buy yourself a toy, go right ahead. There's so many different programs that we do for business owners that is a lease completely under your company. The car loan comes as an equipment lease, so you can write up every red cent. Yeah, cool. Off of that, all you have to do put a sticker. Yeah, and that way you can drive a company car. Yeah. It's deductible. You don't, it's pre-tax, so is very beneficial. If your company has a budget for marketing, you can put it in your marketing and use it as a marketing tool. A lot of people, a lot of these influencers do that right now, and that's how they make their money, right? Yeah. You see all this 20, 25-year-old driving, SVJs and hypercars and hey, they can afford it. They use it for marketing. It's part of cost of business. They don't have tons of employees, right? Is that just them? Right. So, I have $150,000 a month overhead. So if I didn't have that, I could have spent, if would have make the same money I make now, and somehow if I would go lease a Bugatti for $50,000 a month and still be $100,000 ahead, right? Yeah. So everybody's business is different, right? The structure is different. But a structure like mine that is old school, right? Right. So, the younger generation, they have things figured out completely different than my generation. Right. My generation is like, hey, get up, pound, bust ass and get ahead, right? New generation, they figure out to use their brain more than their muscle, right? They figure out how to make money online, how to make money off of, coaching, whatever the case might be. Money. Yeah, well, hey, good for them. Like I have a circle of younger guys here locally in town that they're so brilliant, and I'm like, man, good for them. Honestly, good for them. So my hat off to them. Whatever like little niche you find that you can make clean money, honest money, go for it. And reinvest it, put it in your business, put it in a Bugatti. I don't care. Yeah. But just make sure that, you don't owe a bunch of people money and you're flexing a wrong way. Right. That is like a cheapest way of being a businessman. Right. When you don't have the money, you flex like you do. Like make the money, be humble, and then when you have it, flex all you want, man. That's your hard-earned money that you worked your butt off for it. You deserve it. So until then,
if you had to go back and redo everything, and you had to go through all the hardships again, would you do everything the same?
Oh man, I never even thought about that. Yes, I would probably do everything the same because I love cars, right? Yeah. So it's my passion. I really look at it. The only thing I would have done different, I came to Arizona in 87. Okay. So that's long time ago. We call it the 1800s, right? Me and my brother, we always make fun of it. The 1800s, the 1900s. So we came in the 1800s to Arizona. Scottsdale Road ended at Shea. After Shea, Scottsdale Road, dirt road. Yeah. Became the dirt road. You could buy acres for $10,000 up there. Where North Scottsdale is right now.
Way different back then.
I wish the only regret I have is I wish we would have got in real estate business instead of automotive business.
Yeah, because you'd be...
Yeah, it would have been a different story. But to be very frank with you guys, I wanted the cars to get the girls, right? So that's what most young men want. They want a nice car to get the girls. So that was one of the one of the main focus at the time.
Yeah, and that's what's crazy about it, because it's like you look back and you're like, to become a business owner, it's like you have to go through hell. You have to go through fire, hell. You had to go through, you know, extreme financial hardship, and then you feel like you lose everything, and then it's crazy to see someone rebuild it, right? And then you look back and you're like, if I would have saw myself today, I wouldn't believe it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it's like absolutely phenomenal. And it's tough because like there's like this saying, it's like God puts his strongest warriors right through hell, right?
Yeah,
like Moses,
exactly. Yeah,
Jesus.
of course.
And you go through these hard times, and people just got to realize, like, you just have to get your mind right? You have to do the meditating, you have to do all the things, you have to work on yourself in the gym and go through the fire to then get on the other side. And like, if people would just stay consistent, committed, disciplined, then they would be where they would want to be, right? Like, you did what you said you were going to do, and you have what you have, right? And it's like, you have the family.
Well, not there yet, but yes.
But in most people's eyes, right? You're the 1% that everyone would, you know, absolutely die to be at. And it starts all from within.
Absolutely, you know? Man. I mean, you know, have faith, be strong, work hard, you know. I know it's cliche because everybody say don't give up. It's so much truth goes into those words, but we hear it so often that it has lost its meaning, right? Because nowadays everybody's an influencer, everybody's teaching you know, trying to be a guru, but the core message is all the same, right? Hey, you know, you gotta put the time in. You gotta hustle. You gotta even you know, I had a client that it's very young, just turned 21 now, and very successful, very good for him. And even him, like, he's working nonstop, even though like for his age, he started his company at 16. That's young to own your own company, man, and work to the point to getting that he has 3 or 4 supercars and lives in Miami and all of that. So no matter what you pick, as long as you put the time and effort and commitment to it, it's gonna pay off. It's gonna pay off.
Cool.
Right.
Well, that is it for today. I really appreciate you, Sy, for coming on. So thank you so much and having us here. And
absolutely,
you know, we'll tag him below, and you guys can check him out on social media. Check out Creative Bespoke, and
November 1st. Don't forget, 5 to 8 p.m. right here. If you want to see some amazing cars, we're gonna have it for you.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll set the link. We'll be here. So hope to see you guys.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much.